Hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to be talking about a subject that most people either avoid or it comes to the fact that it's hard to talk about due to the stigma around it. And if you're wondering what that is mental health. So, normally I would be playing Minecraft, for commentary video, but I've been playing Minecraft more recently, so I wanted to do that instead. So, let's get right into it. Um, I it's called my own journey with mental health has been quite the roller coaster, to say the least. Um, it's called my friend Talk to Guest. Um, he has very much been a part of it, and he has been one of the people that um stuck with me throughout everything. There were times where our relationship has gotten, our friendship has gotten distant, and do I blame him? Not a bit, considering everything. I honestly understand it if he ever needs to take a break because I want his mental health to also be good. Because for me, one thing I very much value is mental health. Now, yeah. And so, disclaimer on this video, I will be talking about some different subjects relevant to self-harming, self-hatred, um, just a lot of stuff related to mental health and my own mental health journey. So I want to put a disclaimer to let you know that if you might get triggered by those subjects, please do not watch any further. But if you think you can handle it, then most definitely you can watch further. Um, so, and yeah, just letting you know so you aren't like, what the heck, or anything like that. I'd rather make sure that everyone is safe than unsafe, because that is, yeah. Anyway, uh, continuing on. For my mental health journey, I've, uh, it's called, when I was in third grade, I got diagnosed with ADHD. Um, and like, of course, as a kid, you would get diagnosed with ADHD, and I would agree. But the thing is that I got it because one of the teachers really hated me because I was so abnormal, and so she wanted to basically she just hated me so much that she eventually was like, you know what, no, we're getting a diagnosis. We need to get a diagnosis for them. And I was like, oh, I didn't care. Honestly, half the time I didn't even realize what I was doing because I didn't understand social concepts due to undiagnosed autism. Now, my sister Kate, she most definitely helped with that. She kept me she helped me learn almost everything I know now. And some things I did have to learn myself, but she has been a more or less hero for me. She is one of my top supporters, and I 100% support her. I love her with all my heart, and I will, she is just amazing sibling, 10 out of 10. I would love to have her as a sibling again in the next life. If there is something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but still. Anyway, then um, later on down the line, when it got to uh, COVID, um, it kind of screwed me up because I had the schedule down of, oh, school, 4 blocks this, 4 blocks that, like this thing. Like it wasn't very hard to follow. Um, and then just what's it called? COVID threw a whole wrench into my plans, whole wrench into just everything. So that was fun. Anyway, so but yeah, no. Then we um yeah, she was just so yeah. Sorry, 2020. Yeah, sorry. Um, and it comes to the fact where um, like I said, Guest was very much a person who's been with me for a long time, and he's been with me throughout everything. So he was with me in 2020, been with me 20, like he's been through everything with me, best friend, or at least I believe he is my best friend. I'm not sure about him. I know he has had some recent experiences with me that I understand if, uh, you know, he doesn't necessarily consider me best friend, maybe just friend, which I can understand completely. Anyway, um, just moving on from that, back in like 2021 was the first time I ever self-harmed, and um, so that got it was just due to a lot of stress going on, and COVID was a huge factor in that. So that happened, um, and so yeah, and what's it called? Yeah, uh, like I said, it's very hard to talk about for me. Uh, then that got me into therapy, and it's called. Then after a while that we um eventually in 2023, 2022, 2022. So both, I would say it's kind of both of 2023 to 2022 and 2023, just because, yeah. Anyway, because, well, during those years, um, a lot happened. Basically a lot of my a few of my friends and some really close ones. It's called one, they were struggling with their mental health, and oh, I was too. Um, Even with therapy, and just saying, therapy isn't the one all be all, like for fixing everything. I just want to make that clear. If therapy does not work for you, that is not a problem at all, because it just might not work for your mind. Anyway, getting back on track. Um, the the friends I was with, we had a server and everything like that, and yeah. And then, of course, we had a server on Discord. Uh, but anyway, then um, late 2020, 2, beginning of 2023, it started to get real worse, and I lost countless friends due to it. Um, and yeah, it was pretty bad. So yeah, but no, because of that though, um, just it at the time, it didn't really register in my head, and you might be like, how can it not? It's because at the time, I honestly was a complete entitled jackass. Yeah, first curse word, but still, that's literally. the best way to put it, because that's what I was. I didn't recognize what I was doing to people. I didn't recognize other people. I basically my empathy wasn't really there. Now I have extreme empathy, and I believe it's due to that event. I believe it's due to everything happening in my brain finally realizing that, holy crap, I messed up. Now, had I realized, I wished it. I do realize, I do wish I realized it sooner, but better late than never. Am I right? Anyway, so with that, it comes to the fact that um basically everything happened, and then like a lot happened. A lot of stuff I can't talk about just because it's too personal. It's too much for me. Um, so I am not going to go into that. But what I am going to is the fact that I went to the hospital, a mental hospital, mental facility, and it's not like the insane asylums you've heard about everywhere, padded walls and everything like that. No, no, no. That's just a different thing, different. That's just a stigma. That's just a stereotype. Now, um, was this first mental hospital the best? No. Springfield, um, it was a place where they didn't really care all too much. They just wanted the next patient in, next patient out. They didn't really care that much. So it just became to the fact where it wasn't it wasn't a place to strengthen your mental health. It was a place to just live. Well, not live, but a kind of break for a tiny second, and then out back into the real world. So, um, I just didn't have a good experience there, and parents especially didn't because they didn't communicate at all. They barely communicated, if at all. And so, just came to the fact that it was a bad experience. Then after that, I was going to IOP, intensive outpatient care. Uh, and there, um, it's called I did self-harm again. Um, well, I did self-harm due to the fact that I was depressed. I was really depressed. So I, what's it called? Yeah, just basically I was self-harming, and then eventually I did go back to the hospital. Uh, and so that hospital visit was to Dominion, and it was actually a relatively good visit. They actually talked to parents, um, and they actually were trying. They actually cared about their patients and everything like that. Um, I'm not going to talk about really anything that happened within the hospital due to the fact that I'm not. It's called you're not supposed to talk about that stuff because some people, some of the other patients, um, were going through their own stuff and they don't want it, you know, out there on the internet or anything like that. Of course, not naming names, of course, but still, even without naming names, it's still it's still rude. So anyway, so um, then after that, I went to um PHP, which is partial hospitalization program, and because of that, um, and it was a really good program, honestly. Um, it was a they still I had the same uh doctor as I had when I was inpatient. Um, and what's it called? She was just a really nice person, really nice doctor. I couldn't really understand her underneath her accent, but I mean, when I was able to, it was really nice. She was an amazing person, and I really wish I got her in the first hospital visit because she helped a lot. Anyway, then after that, um, we went we went out. We uh then once I got out of PHP, I was playing. Well, I was dang it, one second. I was fine for about a few months, and but even then, still, I very much my mental health was not the best still. Even with me staying in the hospital for 2 weeks and staying at PHP for 2 weeks, my mental health still wasn't the best. Now, was I surviving? Yes. Um, but still, it was very hard for me. And so I, um, it's called, then eventually I was able to get a hold of a knife and started self-harming again. And, um, and because of that, I still have the scars to this day, but I went to the hospital again in October. Um, and because of that, um, it was just, it was a lot. Um, and so, that just, it's, yeah. I mean, it was at Snowden, and it was honestly a good, hospital. Loved it, 10 out of 10. Um, and yeah, just good place. Anyway, then for over a year, no self-harming attempts, no suicide attempts. There were previous suicide attempts for um the last hospital visit that I just talked about. It was a suicide attempt. Um, and so that's truly what got me into the hospital was the fact that I did actually attempt to end my life. Um, still a yeah, yeah. So then after that, and also due to the first hospitalization, things like that. Like I said, I lost many, many friends due to the fact of how much it affected them because it affected them a whole lot. And yeah, so I eventually did apologize to those who I did hurt at the time and everything like that. But just because you apologize to someone, just because you try to forgive yourself, doesn't mean it's gonna work. I can tell you that much because the guilt has never gone away. Now, does that excuse me from what I've done? No, absolutely not. It's called it's called if anything that makes it more so. So, I'm just saying, just because you feel guilt over something does not does not give you the right to say, "Oh, I'm perfectly fine because I felt guilt or I feel guilt over this, so I'm perfectly fine here. Now I'm perfectly fine now." Like, but you're not. You really aren't. That's not how it works. Anyway, but so it's not how that works. Not at all. So it comes to the fact where I'm feeling this guilt, this pain, and everything like that due to it, and um, it's called. Before this, like I said, I didn't have that much empathy, but after that, I I now have very much increased empathy because I recognize that, oh crap, I did not realize what I was doing. So my brain adapted and made it so that I would realize what the heck I was doing. Once again, um, that does not make it so that I am free of guilt or I am free of blame or anything like that. I am not. I know I'm not. And so don't ever expect yourself to be free of blame unless it legitimately was not your fault. Like, let's say car runs a red light and you get in an accident when you clearly had a green light. That is not your fault, so you do not need to feel guilt. But if it's something like you ran the red light and you hit the person, then yes, you do deserve guilt. You do deserve to feel that guilt because you were the one who caused it. Now, does that mean you can't forgive yourself and eventually possibly, you know, have the guilt be lessened? No. You can still have that happen and you can still do that. But just because you feel guilt, just because you forgive yourself, does not mean others have to forgive you. Just because just because you forgive yourself does not mean others have to forgive you. So, yeah, I'm saying this because I know myself, and I know that people do not are like, oh, I'm perfectly fine, I'm perfectly free from this now because of X reason or whatever. No, it's called if you can forgive yourself and everything like that, good on you. But that does not mean you didn't do it. It's called you did. And sometimes people can't get over the guilt. I myself am one person who can. I've never been able to, never will. I've tried. Anyway, this goes into um, when I reunited with an old friend. I'm not gonna say her name on here because I don't really want to. But it's called. She and I reconnected, and we eventually became um, like boyfriend and girlfriend again. Because we did date previously, but um, yeah. Anyway, she. It's called. We then um we then got into we got our relationship going and everything like that, and my mental health was fine. Um, and the thing is that she and I were a good couple. I mean, there were some things that I had speculations about, and I was like, I I did have some hesitations, I will admit, but overall, I love the relationship, and so I stayed in it until um this past like month or two. I don't know how long it's been at this point. I know it's been at least a month since last time. Um, well, since I broke up with her. And you're like, why did you break up? Because over a call one night, uh, she said, and I'm quoting this from exactly what I heard, was People, d- people with depression should just get over it. And I immediately was like, nope, that's a deal breaker. And the thing is that I gave her a second. I was like, okay. I was like, I literally said, excuse me? And then she just tried to double down. And that's where I was like, yeah, that's gonna be a no from me. That's a no. That's just an absolute no. Because you are not gonna double down on something that serious. Because it is absolutely not true at all. That is 100% not true. Uh, you don't want to, um, like that's nothing that's not a thing you want to say, especially to a person who has major depressive disorder, who has depressive episodes, who has anxiety, who has ADHD, and also recently got diagnosed with autism. And I also have a mood disorder. So it comes to the fact where very much depression is not something I can just snap and, oh, I'm over it. Oh, I'm perfectly fine now. No. And if you ever think that, that is just incorrect because some people, even though they're trying their hardest, they are trying as much as they can, they sometimes still just can't get over it, can't get through it because their mind just doesn't allow it. And it is not their fault because I know people who have tried and tried and tried, and it comes to the fact where they did try, but they just can't quote unquote get over it. So I broke up with her for that reason, and that was a real detriment, to say the least, just because I did love her very much, but I knew I had to let her go because I knew if I stayed with her, especially after that, I it's called it would be a detriment to my mental health. So I did leave, um, and um she she's tried to reach out to me, tried to reconnect, reconcile, and things like that, but I haven't I haven't given her any more chances because that's just it's a deal breaker for me. It's an automatic deal breaker. I don't like no matter what you say now, for me that's too much. So, yeah. And then also comes to the fact where my sister um she let me know that uh well, yeah, well they let me know that they aren't coming back home. They aren't coming back home for any holidays, anything at all. Because they don't feel accepted. They don't feel accepted for who they are. Because of parents' religion. And in my parents' religion, they they don't believe in gay, non-binary, trans, anything like that. Um, Now parents are better at it now. They are more supportive, but to them, their love for their religion um, is is prominent. They still love us as us, but will they necessarily say like like oh my child instead of my daughter or son or anything like that? No. And well, yeah, that's what they'll do. They'll say it over that, and so it just yeah. But um, she anyway, just after all of that, especially since she was one of my number one supporters, it came to the fact that I got, especially after the breakup, I got really depressed. Um, and Um, I did eventually, um, and more recently than not, um, I went back to the hospital, and I was there for a week, and it was a new hospital. It was Inova, and it was a good hospital. There I actually got a diagnosis for autism finally, so that was a good thing. So um, so that was a very good thing. Um, because we knew something was wrong, we just didn't necessarily know what. Um, and um, so it comes to the fact where we were um kind of just trying to figure things out. So that was an interesting experience, but the main reason why I haven't been making videos was just due to my mental health, due to everything going on, along with, I mean, I was fine with making videos with friends and things like that, but alone, it was really hard to. Or at least that's just me. For me, it was really hard to make videos just alone, on my own, just seeing what to say and everything like that. Um, because I really like playing with friends. So, um, anyway, we um, then after that, I was able to get my PC moved from the living room into my room. So that was a very much a step up, and I was very happy, and I still am. Why do I keep getting catfish? Anyway, um, um, just yeah. But for my entire mental health journey, I've self-harmed. I've had suicidal ideation, um, suicidal, some homicidal. Homicidal thoughts though are gone. Um, and I don't. It's called. I can't necessarily prove it to anyone, except for the fact that I haven't hurt anyone at all, nor um, like try. I've been trying not to hurt people in any sort of fashion, um, physically, mentally, or emotionally, or anything like that. Just because my mind works in an interesting way. It's called I have extreme empathy, where I truly feel what the other person is feeling. I can put myself into the other person's shoes so easily. What I mean by that is, let's say, um, I accidentally hurt someone emotionally. I can feel that I hurt them. I can feel that, oh, I did something wrong. I did this wrong and I need to apologize. And I will. I most definitely will. There is no reason for me not to. But I will. I still will. But I can truly feel what they they are feeling, or at least some semblance of what they are feeling. And it comes to the fact where my siblings come to me if they need to write an email to someone and they don't want to sound like a jerk, or they don't want to sound like they're trying to be um like rude or anything, because they're not. They're just trying to be a human being. They'll come to me and make sure it sounds like I'm. They'll make sure it sounds I like they're not trying to be a jerk, and I completely understand, and I gladly help them out. Um, but all this is just to say that I have extreme empathy. empathy is one of my strongest um emotion. Well, not strongest characteristics. Um, so it comes to the fact where you want. Well, I can easily um I can easily talk to you and understand you, no problem whatsoever. I'm a very understanding person. And so, yeah, just with my whole mental health journey, and it's still going on, it hasn't ended. I would just like to make that clear. Your mental health journey doesn't just end one day and suddenly everything's fine. Not even close. No, that is far, far from the truth. Your mental health journey continues for the rest of your life. It's not meant to be scary. I'm not trying to scare you or anything. It's just the truth. Because your mental health is like your physical health. It's a constant thing you have to take care of. And it's not a thing you can just leave. You can't just leave it there and be like, oh, we'll be fine. No, that's literally not what you can do at all. Because it just doesn't work like that. So I'm just letting you know that you're not alone. I promise you, there are people who do also feel the same as you. Now, are they common? No, because everyone has different experiences. But are they there? Yes, I can confidently say that. Yes, they are there. Now, does everyone understand 100% of the time? No, absolutely not. Because that's literally impossible. Because everyone has different experiences. Everyone experiences life in their own way. It is not someone's job to, well, for therapists it is their job, but a random person, it is not their job to fully understand you. It is not their job to get to it is not their job to necessarily help you. Now, if they choose to help you and choose to become friends and everything like that, that is their choice. But remember, everyone has their choices in life, and they're probably going to be different from yours. But the thing is that you're going to leave them alone. You need to leave them, like, let's say in the supermarket, a person is, their kid is just yelling and screaming and things like that, and you're like, oh, my child wouldn't be like that. I'm, spanked them or whatever and made sure they didn't do that. Yes, that's your way. But if you come up to the person and be like, you should be parenting them a different way, you're the bad guy. Because you do not tell someone else how to parent their child. Because they might have a different way. They might have a better style, and you may just not know. Now, that's not a guarantee, but is it any of your business whether or not? No. So, mind your mind your own business. And if it's truly getting out of hand, where the child's being abused or something like that, then I totally understand coming in and be like, "Hey, stop abusing your child." Like that's perfectly understandable. But I'm saying going in when a kid's maybe just having a tantrum and the person's just like, "I am not gonna give into it" or anything like that. Like, and you're like, "Oh, you should do this or you should do this." No, no, just no. You need to think before you act, to say the least. Another thing is that, well, my parents are better now, but your beliefs, your religious beliefs, should not trump your child's mental health. Should not trump your child's um your child's mind. Like should not triumph your child's care. Just because you have a belief, oh, vaccines cause autism, does not mean you should do it where, oh, my child won't get any vaccines. Because the thing is that there's so many things saying, no, vaccines do not cause autism or anything like that. Autism is generally genetic. It can be genetic or it can be developed. Either way, but most of the time it's genetic. So it comes to the fact where it's not it's not vaccines or anything like that. Uh, it's just either it's a developmental disorder or it's a parent having it that causes it. So I'm just saying, your belief should not trump your child getting the help they need. Should not trump the child getting the needed things. I don't know. Ah, plastic. Anyway, I'm just saying, you you shouldn't you shouldn't reject care for your child. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you're doing. There's a saying, and I 100% agree with it, is every child should have a parent, but not every parent should have a child. And I 100% guarantee, 100% agree, because some parents are just simply unfit to have children and should not. Oh no, oh no, 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 no. Ow. Okay. Well, that's stuff I can probably get later on. Oh, hi, whale. Um, anyway, I'm just saying, mental health is such a uh, subject that many people won't go into because they're afraid. But for me, I'm not necessarily afraid. I just know my own mental health journey. I know it's tough. It can be hell at some points, but it can also be a very much a blessing. For me, it was a blessing to realize that I need to change. I need to do better as a person. And I've been working on it. Am I the perfect citizen? No, not by a long shot. Do I still hurt people sometimes? Yes. But do I try my best to be a good person? Yes. And that's the thing. If you are truly trying your best, and giving it your all, that's all we can hope for. If you are not giving it your best and you expect everyone else to cater to you or whatever like that, just because you can't get it down, then no, that's not how it works. It is not everyone else's responsibility to cater to you. Now, if you want that, then go get, just go get whatever you want, whatever. But expecting normal people, people just out in the world, to do that, no, just no. I'm just saying. I I I understand many people out there are different. They are very much like they see the world in their own way. I also understand you need to respect those who see it in a different way. Respect is generally earned, yes. But the thing is that what you should do is respect a person until they give you a reason to not respect them. Like if they give a serious reason not to respect them, like let's say they're being a complete jackass, then totally don't respect them. But if they're being a genuine human being who's just trying their best and you don't respect them, that's a little bit mean, in my opinion. Because like, let's say people at supermarkets, people just trying to live their life and earn a minimum wage, and they're just really done with their job. Then don't treat them like crap, because they aren't just machines. They are human beings who do not deserve that. This has been going on for almost an hour at this point, and dang it, I'm probably gonna have to re-record this video. Dang it, crap. Well, it's fine. I can get some. You know, I'll just have to do that. I'll just have to get some of that. Anyway, all in all is if you need help, please go and get it. If you need if you need assistance, go and get it. But not from a random person on the street. From a licensed professional. Just because random people on the street aren't prepared for that kind of stuff. They aren't gonna be able to help you as much as a licensed professional. And nor is a person gonna be perfect. However, if they do, like, lose your respect or are complete assholes, I understand. But just because of that doesn't mean you have to treat them like crap. It means all you have to do is look at them and say, I don't want you in my life. You are a person who isn't helping me at all, and I don't want you in my life. And it might be some of the hardest things you ever do to say those words, but I promise you can do it. You can. And it might feel so impossible. It might feel like it's not possible at all. But I promise you, It is. And I'm not saying you have to go out and try it immediately. It's called give yourself time. That's one thing you should do, is give yourself time, reconsider. But if you're certain, go and do it. Because that will definitely benefit your mental health. That will benefit you in every way possible. I'm just saying. Keep yourself first. Especially mental health wise. Like, keep yourself first, mental health wise. But also, don't be a jerk and, make it so that you think you're better than everyone else. Because you're not. It's called everyone's going through their own struggles, everyone's going through their own things. It doesn't. It's not any of your business unless they decide to share it with you. But still, I'm just saying. It's called I'm gonna end it here. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day and a good rest of your week. I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye for now.